How's it going, folks? I'm Des with DesFit, and this is the brand new Garmin Vivosmart 5 fitness tracker. And this little band right here can track tons of different health stats like your heart rate 24 hours a day, your calories burned, your steps, and even your blood oxygen saturation levels, along with the fact that it can also track tons of different activities like running, cycling, weight training, as well as swimming, all in a small, lightweight, and comfortable to wear band. So the new Vivosmart 5 builds upon the previous generation Vivosmart 4 with some updated hardware, including a new larger display, some new health and fitness features, along with new safety and tracking features. And in this video, I'll be going over everything that you need to know about this fitness tracker, including how accurate it is for tracking activities like running, cycling, as well as weight training. And if the information in this video does help you out at all, don't be shy about hitting that like button. It's a small little thing that you can do that'll help this video and the channel quite a bit, and I appreciate it. So for the hardware, the Vivosmart 5 is just a nice, lightweight, comfortable band that you can wear, opposed to something much larger like a watch. And the nice thing about it is that it still provides quite a bit in terms of health, activity, and fitness tracking. And then in terms of styles or colors, the Vivosmart 5 comes in 3 different colors, a black version, a white version, and then a cool mint version. And then it also comes in 2 different sizes depending on your wrist size. And then it also has a new replaceable band versus the previous generation, so you can replace or swap these bands out as you wish. The Vivosmart 5 looks very similar to the previous generation Vivosmart 4, but the Vivosmart 5 does come with a display that's 66% larger and has more pixels, and this definitely makes things quite a bit easier to read, especially at a quick glance. And one thing I want to mention really quick is that you may notice a little bit of flickering or banding on the display in some of the video that I'm showing, but that's not noticeable in real life. That's just me not being able to find the right camera settings for the display. You won't be able to see that flickering with the naked eye. So to interact with the device, it's super simple where you just use a touchscreen along with a physical button. And there's really not much to it. So to wake the display up, all you have to do is just raise your wrist like you normally would and the display wakes up. And alternatively, to wake the display up, you can also just press the button. And then from here, to access some of the data that it can collect, all I'll do is just swipe up, and here's where I can access these little widgets with different types of information. Like this first widget shows my steps and calories for the day, along with intensity minutes for the week. And you can think of intensity minutes as the time that you're spending at higher heart rates, like working out. And then what you can do from here too is that if you want to see more details, I can just tap on the steps data field and then see my steps along with my step goal for the day. And then if I tap again, it'll show a graph of my steps for the last 7 days. And then to back out of that screen, all you do is just simply press the button. It's super, super easy. The previous generation Vivosmart 4 had a haptic button, or basically a non-physical button, where the Vivosmart 5 switches to a physical button. Haptic feedback buttons, well, they may look nice and clean on the surface, but sometimes you may not even know that you're actually hitting the button. With a physical button, you know where you're hitting it. So for me, I actually like this update. So the next widget in the list shows my current heart rate, and the Vivosmart 5 does collect your heart rate 24 hours a day. It also collects your stress level, and then also something called body battery. And you can think of body battery as kind of like a general indication of your energy levels based on your sleep and your workouts. And if we tap on body battery, it will show my body battery trend for the last 4 hours. The next widget I have here shows my sleep data, my blood oxygen saturation levels, as well as my respiration rate. And respiration rate is something new with the Vivosmart 5. And with the Vivosmart 5, it has Garmin's advanced sleep tracking that can track your sleep stages. It can also track your blood oxygen saturation levels during the night. And it also can provide you with a sleep score. And sleep score is something new with the Vivosmart 5 versus the Vivosmart 4. And yes, that 21 sleep score that you see is a pretty accurate reflection of my sleep quality last night. It was kind of a rough night. The next widget I have here is a little calendar widget for showing events from my smartphone. The next widget shows weather information for the day. And then I also have a hydration widget here for tracking my hydration levels throughout the day, as well as my goal right here at the bottom of 13 cups. And this is super easy to use where you just tap to add or delete however much that you're drinking. And then you also have a widget here for controlling the music playing on your phone. And then I also have a notifications widget set up here where you can see notifications from all the apps that you have, including text. And when paired with an Android phone, you'll be able to both receive text as well as send quick replies that you can set up in the Garmin Connect smartphone app. With an iPhone, you'll be able to receive all those texts, but you won't be able to reply, and that's unfortunately due to Apple's locking down of their outgoing text functionality. And then when we're back on the watch face, if we just swipe to the right, you won't be able to make a match on Tinder, unfortunately, but you will be able to access the little controls menu with some shortcuts like the ability to find your phone, see the battery percentage, as well as enable a Do Not Disturb mode. The Vivosmart 5 is also water resistant, so you'll be able to shower with it or go swimming with it. And for battery life, they advertise that it can last up to 7 days with the stock settings. I went ahead and enabled blood oxygen saturation level tracking during sleep, and that brought it down to about 5 days, but still overall very good. The previous generation Vivosmart 4 used a clip-on charger, but Garmin updated the Vivosmart 5 to use the same charging cable that they use on pretty much all their current watches. So it's nice to see that you don't have to have a specific Vivosmart charging cable. It's the same Garmin charging cable that pretty much all their other wearables use at this point. The Vivosmart 5 also comes with new women-specific health features like menstrual tracking. Obviously, I won't be able to test those, but it is nice to see that the Vivosmart 5 does come with those features. The Vivosmart 5 also comes with new safety and tracking features, including a feature where you'll be able to request assistance from an emergency contact that you'll set up in Garmin to connect. So what happens from here is that, let's say you're in a situation where you need to quickly request assistance if you felt unsafe in any way. What you can do is just simply long press the button on the device for about 5 seconds or so, and the device will vibrate. What it'll do from here is connect to your smartphone and use your smartphone's cell connection to send out your assistance request to your emergency contact via text message. And this request will also send out your location to them so they can find you. And don't worry, if you happen to accidentally trigger the assistance feature, you'll have the opportunity to cancel it. And then it also comes with a feature called instant detection for some select activity profiles. And what this feature will do is try to automatically detect when you're in something like an accident. So in the case where you're like constantly moving along and then you suddenly come to a stop and stop moving. At that point, it'll send out an alert with your location to one of your emergency contacts. And then it also comes with a feature called Live Track, where you'll be able to send a link with your location so somebody can actually follow along on your activity if you'd like. And then for fitness and sport tracking, the Vivosmart 5 can track plenty of different types of activities, and you can access this list by just simply pressing on the button, and then right here we have the option to choose an activity. So it has all the stuff that you'd expect, like walking, running, as well as cycling, as well as plenty of gym-based activity profiles like strength training, pool swimming, and a cardio profile for anything else. And then the Vivosmart 5 also comes with some new activity profiles that weren't found in the Vivosmart 4, like high-intensity interval training, Pilates, indoor running, breathwork, as well as a treadmill activity profile. And you can have up to 10 different activity profiles available to you on the band at one time, and you'll be able to edit this list of activities in the Garmin Connect smartphone app. And then in here as well is where you can edit the data fields that are being displayed. So like here, we can change the data that's being displayed for the running activity profile to show a heart rate gauge, as well as music controls if you'd like, to control the music playing on your phone if it's nearby. And with the outdoor activity profiles like walking, running, and cycling, to track distance as well as your location, the Vivosmart 5 uses connected GPS, meaning that when you go to start the activity, it'll attempt to connect to your phone and use your phone's GPS, since the Vivosmart 5 doesn't have built-in GPS. And then in regards to GPS accuracy, well, that's not really a thing with the Vivosmart 5 because the Vivosmart 5 doesn't have built-in GPS and it's dependent on your phone, and phones can be completely different. So it's not super relevant to talk about it. But just for an example, here's a run that I did with quite a few different watches, and you can see that the distance that was collected on the Vivosmart 5 via my iPhone was pretty much right in line with the other devices, which do have built-in GPS. And then while we're looking at this run with an activity like running, along with workout stats like calories and distance, it also gives you plenty of other data like your pace, speed, heart rate, of course, running dynamics like cadence as well as stride length, estimated sweat loss, your intensity minutes, lap or split information, and then super nice looking graphs of all that information. So tons of data to dive into. The Vivosmart 5 also comes with Garmin's strength training activity profile, where it can automatically count your reps if you'd like, so you can keep track of that during your workout as well as analyze this later. And this is super simple, where you just start the activity, do your reps like you normally would, and then when you're done with that set, you just simply press the button and then it initiates a rest period. And then from here, you can edit the reps if for some reason they're off, and then basically just rinse and repeat for the rest of your workout. And then when you're done with your workout, you can see all your sets in the app, and you can edit the reps and even add or edit the type of exercise to each set if you'd like to keep track of that too. The Vivosmart 5 will attempt to automatically recognize a type of exercise that you're doing, like let's say bicep curls, and it's a neat feature on paper, but I found this feature to be pretty hit and miss on all Garmin wearables, so it's not just the Vivosmart 5, but you will have the ability to edit those exercises later on in the app. And don't worry, if you'd rather just do your strength training workout without having to fiddle around with the rep counting, you can always just go ahead and turn that off in the activity settings. And the Vivosmart 5 also adds Garmin's high-intensity interval workout profile, and this profile is really well thought out, where they provide you with different types of HIIT timers like AMRAP, Tabata, and more depending on your workout of the day. And then in addition to the normal workout data that we saw before, the Vivosmart 5 also can estimate your running VO2 max, and they also have this additional feature called Fitness Age. And Garmin's idea for Fitness Age is basically trying to create a little bit more relatable figure for assessing your fitness level rather than VO2 max, which may not be as relatable for some folks. And then for heart rate accuracy, Garmin updated the heart rate sensor slightly on the Vivosmart 5 versus the previous generation to be a little bit more accurate. And then in the following examples, I'll be comparing the Vivosmart 5 to a chest heart rate sensor as well as an optical arm heart rate sensor, which tend to be really good points of reference in terms of accuracy. So on this indoor bike ride, the Vivosmart 5 did extremely well. So at the beginning, there was an initial slight delay where it took about 20 seconds to lock on, but that's usually what I see out of these types of sensors, so not a big deal there. And if I had to nitpick about this workout at all, there was an ever so slight blip here and a little blip here, but overall, this is basically spot on. And then for running, for the most part, it was pretty good, but what we could see here are a couple points during the run where it veered off a little bit more. So at the beginning, again, a little bit of funkiness from both the Vivosmart 5 as well as another watch that I was wearing on the other wrist, but after that, they both got back in line. Right around the middle portion of the run, there were these 2 points where it tracked high for a few moments. On the tail end of the workout is where we saw a little bit more variance from both watches I was wearing, but no huge spikes or dips or anything like that, so not a big deal overall. And then for weight training, the Vivosmart 5 did pretty well here overall, and you could see that there were essentially no points where we saw any wild spikes or dips or anything like that. It wasn't quite as sensitive though in terms of tracking some of the quicker changes in heart rate, like on this set of tricep extensions right here, and on the third set of high intensity intervals at the end. But overall, this is a pretty good result when it comes to these types of sensors for weight training. And then for a couple last things, the Vivosmart 5 can also broadcast your heart rate to a compatible device like let's say a treadmill or an iPad. There's also quite a few different watch faces that you can choose from, with everything from a data-rich watch face which shows tons of stats, all the way to more simplistic and stylish watch faces. And then it also has alarms, timers, and a stopwatch that you can set up. So overall, the Vivosmart 5 is a solid little device that does what it does well, but it does come in at $20 more than the previous generation Vivosmart 4. What's interesting though is that when you compare the Vivosmart 5 with similar activity trackers like let's say a Fitbit Charge 5, which has similar features as well as a similar price tag. But with the Fitbit Charge 5, to access all the features that it can provide, you have to sign up for Fitbit Premium, which is a subscription. So that's going to cost you as low as I think $20 a year, all the way up to $70 a year. And at that point, it makes the Fitbit much less of the value, where with the Vivosmart 5, you just get everything out of the box. Anyhow, that's the new Vivosmart 5 from Garmin, and if you have any questions about anything I didn't cover in this video, make sure to just leave a comment down in the comment section down below. And on your way down there, if you found the information in this video to be useful, make sure to hit that like button, and also subscribe to the channel for plenty more sports tech videos that are right around the corner. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video.